Hello all, and welcome back to Chreos Gaming. I am continuing my playthrough of Morrowind, in which I have moved on to the main quest line, having completed the 3 guild quest lines, the Thieves, Mages, and Fighters Guild, not necessarily in that order. So now, the next step for me is to head to Vivec and find some additional informants to gather information from. Now, in the last 2 videos, the informant had me do some sort of task for them. I did not get the impression that was going to be the requirement this time, but we will see. Alright, I would like to travel to Vivec, please, because that is where each of the mages, or not mages, each of the informants are. I do believe I need to come downstairs to get out of the guild area. Yes, I do. Are you two going to be in the way? Yep. Come on. Move. Let me through.
Have you tried saying please?
You give duties? No, you could speech without the range Trebonius. Okay. Can I get through, please? Oh, yay. Oh, that's infuriating. Okay. So there is a corner club in the lower wasteworks that is where the first informant is supposed to be. Actually, not the first informant listed. I'm pretty sure it's the second informant listed, who is a member of the Morag Tong, which is the Dunmer Assassins Guild, basically. Alright, so is Rare Books, Alchemist, Canal Works, Apothecary, Wasteworks, Black Shulk Corner Club. There we go. Alright, so that's where I'm heading. First right, second left type thing, if I read that correctly. But I do believe I need to come around this corner. Here we are. And he said it was an Argonian, so there's only one Argonian in the room that I can see. Hulia, that sounds right. Excuse me, Hulia. I welcome you as the friend of my friend, Drolan, but I wish to go to my friend's bookstore, and these troublesome fools are in my way. I have tried to persuade them, but they hate my race, and I fear there will be violence. Perhaps if you speak with them, but be careful and be ready. All right, what's your friend's bookstore? My friend, Jobasha, the Khajit, has a bookstore, Jobasha's Rare Books. If you will agree to travel together with me there, I will answer your questions. But before we go, I beg you to try to persuade these troublesome fools to leave us alone. Otherwise, I fear they will attack us the moment we go to leave. Okay, so who are the troublesome fools? The sight of a free Argonian offends these racist thugs. It would tarnish my Morag Tong honor to slay them, and I don't want to trouble my friend Sir Alice Gulmus by fighting in his club, but I must go to my friend's bookstore, where we can talk in peace. If you have a way with words, perhaps you can talk to them, or if you have a way with money, they might be bought. Otherwise, I fear there must be bloodshed. Okay, well, goodbye. So is that like all of them, or just this guy? Who's... Well, let's find out. Alright, I'm talking to you. Am I talking to you, Fetcher? No, I am talking to the filthy lizard. So push off.
I think he might be at least one of them.
Yes, what filthy lizard? What? Are you some kind of filthy lizard lover? You want to give your little friend a big kiss? Alright, persuasion. What if I intimidate you? I hear you. Can we work this out? Oh, nice. Now what if I say, what? Or yeah, okay. What if I hold on, cancel. Can I ask you, is there a... What if I talk to about Jobasha's Rare Books? It's in the foreign quarter. Okay. There's got to be something in here for leave him alone type thing. What was his name?
Filthy lizard.
Yeah, but that was... What are you? I could try intimidation again, but I don't know if it would work. It does. I take your point. I hope we can work something out. Blah, blah, blah. He can stay here forever for all I care. Not my problem. Awesome. So that worked for one.
Well, except your reputation went down when you clicked on Filthy Wizard, like it had been up to 76 and now it's
Right,
47.
but my journal's been updated, so it seems like I spoke with the troublesome fools bothering Halea, and they agreed to leave him alone. So awesome. That worked. Okay, Halea, are we ready to travel together to Jobasha's Rare Books? When we arrive at my friend's bookstore, I will answer your questions there. So yes, we are ready to travel together, I believe. Will you travel together with me to Jobasha's Rare Books? We leave the door to the foreign quarter wasteworks, turn right, west, continue down the hall and across the atrium on the same level, then follow the opposite corridor west on the other side of the atrium all the way to Jobasha's door. I must warn you, unless these troublesome fools are persuaded to behave like civilized beings, there may be fighting and killing if we try to travel together. That's fine. Maybe I should have just killed them. All right. Yes, please. Follow me to Jobasha's Rare Books. Thank you, Drolan. I will follow you to Jobasha's Rare Books, and we will speak further there. Good, good. Goodbye. All right. So apparently he spoke for them. He was the only one near the guy, so... And as much as he gave instructions, I think it's just... Yeah, it's just across, and there it is. Okay. So we go around the atrium, through here, and I'm pretty sure it's to the left. Yes. All right. Yes, thank you very much. We should be free from distraction here. Now, I said I'd tell you about the Nerevarine cult, so you can report back to Caius. And I don't know of any 6th House cult, but I can tell you what I do know. Okay, well, what do you know about the Nerevarine cult, then? To understand the Nerevarine cult, you must understand the history of the Ashlanders. Nerevar means something very different to the Ashlanders from what he means to Dunmer of the Great Houses. You should also know about the persecution of the Nerevarine, and the legacy of the false incarnate, for the Nerevarine cult is at the heart of the ancient conflict between the nomadic Ashlanders and the settled Great House Dunmer. Here is a summary for Caius, but ask your questions and I'll answer in detail. Alright, well that was for the Nerevarine cult. What about the history of the Ashlanders? We'll just go in order. In the first era, the nomadic Ashlanders and the settled Dunmer clans were much alike, but after the First Council and the formation of the Great Houses, Ashlanders have been steadily forced into the poorest and most hostile lands. Now the nomadic tribes look to the prophesied return of Nerevar for a restoration of their ancient rites and religious traditions. Okay. What do you say about Ashlanders in general? The Ashlanders hate the House Dunmer, who have become soft and who have abandoned traditional ancestor worship for the gods of the tribunal, and the Ashlanders hate Outlanders, who invaded and stole their land and forced them to live as subject people. A reborn Nerevar who could drive out the Outlander invaders, destroy the false worship of the tribunal, and restore the pure traditional life and faith of the nomads would be a very popular hero to the Ashlanders. Okay. What do you say about the Great Houses, then? In modern times, Morrowind is ruled by 5 great houses: House Lalu, House Redoran, House Tavani, House Endoril, and House Dress. Great Houses culture is partly defined by its roots in ancient Dunmer tribal clans, and partly by later imperial influences from other Western cultures. The Great Houses culture is only one of the native Dunmer cultures of Morrowind. The other native culture, the Astlander culture, is a nomadic barbarian culture largely untouched by imperial influences. Okay. Persecution of the Nerevarine. The temple treats the Nerevarine prophecies as heresy, and the temple imprisons and executes heretics unless prevented by imperial law.
Oh my.
But since the Nerevarine cult is hostile to the Empire does not interfere when temple persecutes the cult. Ashlanders hate the temple, and particularly the Ordinators, for their ruthless treatment of Nerevarine cultists. Okay, so I've already talked about the Nerevarine cult, because that was this language, alright. So false incarnate, because that sounds odd. In the past, some have claimed to be the In the past, some have claimed to be the reincarnated Nerevar. The most recent is known as Peakster. Okay. A figure of legend among the Waste tribes for the last 30 years. The temple says these false incarnates disprove the prophecies, since the false incarnates fail and come to nothing, but the mystical Nerevarine cult glorifies rather than shrinks from contradictions, citing the appearance of failed incarnates as certain proof of Nerevarar's coming rebirth. Okay. So there was one more thing, false incarnates. Now, oh, no, so that's everything. Did I ask about great houses? Yes, I did. Right, so yeah, that's everything he has to say. So thank you, sir. That will work. And so long as I'm here, I'm going to step out. But then I'm going to find his notes. Directions, notes from Hulea. All right. The following are Hulea's notes for Caius Casatus. The history of the Ashlanders and the Nerevarine cult. In first area, barbaric Dunmer culture settled Dunmer clans, the great houses, and nomadic Dunmer tribes, like the Ashlanders, were roughly equal in numbers and wealth. Under the civilized peace of the Grand Council and with the strong central authority of the temple, the economic and military power of the settled Dunmer quickly outstripped that of the nomadic Dunmer. The nomadic Dunmer were marginalized into the poorest, most hostile land, in particular into the Vardenfell wastes. For the Ashlanders, the return of the reincarnated Nerevar represents a longed-for and largely romanticized golden age of Nerevar's peace, when the nomadic tribes enjoyed equality with the settled Dunmer, and before the Dunmer people had for the most part abandoned traditional ancestor worship for the theocracy of the tribunal temple. The Nerevar of the Ashlanders. This is the story of Nerevar as an Ashlander might tell it. In ancient days, the deep elves and a great host of outlanders from the west came to steal the land of the Dunmer. In that time, Nerevar was the great Khan and war leader of the house people, but he honored the ancient spirits and the tribal law and became as one of us. So, when Nerevar pledged upon his great ring of the ancestors, one clan under moon and star, to honor the ways of the spirits and the rights of the land, and all the tribes joined the house people to fight a great battle at Red Mountain. Though many Dunmer, tribesmen and housemen, died at Red Mountain, the Dwemer were defeated and their evil magics destroyed, and the Outlanders driven from the land. But after this great victory, the power-hungry Khans of the great houses slew Nerevar in secret, and, setting themselves up as gods, neglected Nerevar's promise to the tribes. But it is said that Nerevar will come again with his ring and cast down the false gods, and by the power of his ring will make good his promises to the tribes, to honor the spirits and drive the outsiders from the land. Persecution of the Nerevarine cult. The Tribunal Temple regards the mysticism and prophecy of the Nerevarine cult as primitive superstition. The Ashlander ancestor cults, and the Nerevarines in particular, have always decried the worship of living Dunmer as abominations, suspecting the unnatural lifetimes of the Tribunal to be signs of profane sorcery or necromancy. Though the authoritarian and intolerant temple priesthood has always been inclined to tolerate Ashlander ancestor cult practices, they have always threatened Nerevarine claimants with death or imprisonment. And while generally tolerant of various cult worships, the Imperial Commission of the Occupation outlaws cults hostile to the Emperor and the Empire, and threatens members of such cults with imprisonment or death. Of such cults, excuse me. The ordinators are allowed a free hand when dealing with outlawed cults like the Nerevarines. Peakstar and other incarnates of the past. In the past, others have claimed to be the reincarnated Nerevar of prophecy. The most recent is known as Peakstar, a mysterious figure who has reportedly appeared and disappeared among the Waste tribes over the last 30 years. The temple notes that these false incarnates discredit the Nerevarine prophecies. Singularly and illogically, the Ashlanders acknowledge a history of false claimants, calling them failed incarnates, but they regard them as proof of the validity of the prophecies rather than contradiction. Among the Nerevarines, there is a fable of a cavern of the incarnates, where the spirits of the failed incarnates dwell. The Nerevarine cult is a mystical cult, and it glorifies rather than shrinks from contradictions. Actually, the presence of false claimants neither proves or disproves whether or not there's a true claimant. That both of you are being illogical. All right, so
Well, illogical to a point. I think that the temple's got their reasons, and actually, the whole mention of necromancy. I'm just like,
well, so rather than perhaps a blanket illogical, the logic expressed in their justifications is faulty in both cases.
Yes.
Whether or not there's more behind what the temple is doing isn't specifically what I was addressing. Okay, so now the next person is in Ulm, something Ulm. Can't remember. St. Ulm's, yes. So I have to try and remember where St. Ulm's is.
It's on the map.
Well, that would be what I was hoping would be the case, yeah. But I don't remember if St. Ulm's is a subcomponent of, there we go. So St. Ulm's is over there. It's just south of the arena. So if I head to the arena and then figure out where I am, this should be St. Delin Canal. St. Ulm's is, okay, yes. So I need to head up and just south. That should work fairly easily then, I believe. Yep, just this bridge. Now, was there a specific location in St. Ulm's?
I was thinking it was the canton, but...
Direction, no. There we go, mission to Vivec.
Yep.
Just ask around. Folks are easy, so be careful.
But
okay. So I have to ask for, well, I should have paid attention to the name because I already forgot it. Adheronir. Okay. I mean, most likely start in a, oh, this is a, yes. You know, I helped you, I think. CV Drolan, I am Crora, don't worry. Vivec can be confusing for us and we live here. Adheronir. That sneak, she'll be here in St. Ulm somewhere, although if the heat's on, she may not be parading around in public. Ask around, perhaps someone else has seen her. Okay. Well, she's known, which seems kind of counterproductive to being a thief. You I don't know, but you're still 54%, so let's ask about, whoops, Adheronir. That sneak, yeah, same thing. Okay. Okay, goodbye. Probably need to talk to somebody other than, wait, what was this? St. Ulm's Canal North 1. Yeah, that's still somebody's. I want to find a more public area, like basically a bar or something. So I'm trying to get to the inner lower wasteworks, which is, or the equivalent thereof. Is that what this is? It is St. Ulm's Wasteworks. Okay. So I'm looking for a Khajit. We'll ask you. Do you know anything about Adheronir? Oh, Adheronir. Maybe that name does sound a little familiar. For some reason, I just can't seem to remember. Oh, of course not. What if I try to admire you? Yeah. Talk straight, Khajit. None of the flattery. You guys don't like flattery for some reason, but you do like gold. Everyone can always use some extra coin. What do you need? Is 65 enough to know where Adheronir is? Nope, it's not. Alright, well, let's try another 100 gold. And try again. Okay, I know Adheronir, and if I know Adheronir, she'll be staying out of sight as long as the census and excise agent is lurking about. Probably down in the underworks. Look for trap doors down from the canal works level. What's this about a census and excise agent? They're the Imperial tax collectors. They hunt smugglers and tax dodgers. Okay, well, I guess off to the underworks with me, excuse me, to see if this is the canal works. Then the underworks will be an additional door from there. Yep. That appears to be a Khajit. So let's see if it is. It is. Alright, great. So Caius says to you, speak with Adheronir And you have done this thing. You are speaking with Adherenir, but Adherenir will not talk to you about the Nerevarine or the Sixth House cult. And because why? Because Adherenir is, at this moment, very distracted by a nice census and excise agent who also wants to speak with her. Okay, well, maybe I can help you with that. You do not know this? They are the collectors of the Emperor's taxes and tariffs, and the Emperor has outlawed trade in many things, like Dwemer artifacts and ebony, and a census and excise agent will enjoy being a pest about such things. For several reasons, a census and excise agent is not Adherenir's favorite person. If you want Adherenir to help you, make the bad agent go away. Then she will tell you things. Okay, where is the census and excise agent? Perhaps your ears are clogged. I said if you want Adherenir to help you, go rid this agent who is bothering me. That's fine. Do I have a price on my head? But you can't help me with it even if I do. Okay. So she's friendly with me, but I need to go deal with the census and excise agent, which means I gotta figure out where the person is. I'm not sure how easy that's gonna be. Census and excise agent. Yes. So you're just... So where would I find one is the question.
Ask a guard?
You know, that might work. What do you want? What is your trade? Trade? I have no trade. Jadahnar has the sugar. What does Jadahnar need we trade? Just go away and leave Jadahnar alone. Okay.
Oh my.
Apparently he's a bit of an addict. Okay. Yeah, starting with a guard.
Let's do some business, shall
Welcome to Vivec. Are you looking for services? I cannot ask you about census and what do you know about Adherenir? That sneak, she'll be in. Okay. Nothing.
Oh, no, we
Can you tell me about no, you don't have anything about a census and excise agent either. I'm just curious what a guard says. Yep, same thing. Nope. It's interesting that they refer to the census and excise agent by title and don't give the individual a name at all. Alright, so I'm here. Is there stairs somewhere? Because I need to get higher. There we go. It seems like the individual's most likely... You know what?
Let's not make this official.
You look like you have fancy clothes. I'm looking for a friend of mine, a female Khajit named Adherenir. Do you know where I can find her? I don't believe you. What are my options, though? Persuasion. Well, I'm gonna bribe you. Hey, my speechcraft went up. So if I talk to you about Adherenir now, you say, yes, her name is Adherenir, and she is a Khajit. Do you know where she is? Oh. I'm gonna try lying. What a disappointment, but thank you for your time. I was just heading back to the mainland myself anyway, and maybe I'll run into her there. Yay, it worked. I was very worried that that was going to fail. When I told the census that took a gondola, he said he was heading back to the mainland anyway. I would look for her there. Maybe we'll be grateful. Cool. Awesome. Now back into the underworks and hope that I am not being followed by a census and excise agent. I seem to have come in the wrong location. Oops. And I'm quite slow, apparently.
Are you sneaking?
Yes, I am sneaking. Which is why I'm slow, but given that it was a diseased rat, I didn't really want to have to deal with potential consequences. Now, she had been over there, I thought. I don't see her in the distance, though. Okay, good, you're nodding, Tom. Dang nabbit. Ow. Didn't want to kill somebody. But apparently, she took me looking at her inventory to see whether or not she... I haven't saved it in a while. This is going to be a problem. Uh-oh. Oh, there's a rat there. I have to hope that I can get my hearth belt up in time to... Oh, okay. Yeah, because I didn't save it. That would have not been good to die there, because I would have had a lot to go back through. I guess there would have been an auto-save somewhere, but... Why did you attack me? Well, because I tried to pickpocket you, except that's not what I was doing. Trouble was, I was standing right in front of her when I did it. This is concerning, because this is where I would have expected her to be. Right? I'm confused.
Well, she knew the excise agent was gone, so she left the Underworks.
That's entirely possible. It's not helpful, but it's possible. So maybe now I need to ask somebody else about her again? No, I was just in the wrong side of the Underworks. Okay, good. Yeesh, that was close. Alright, Adherenir. Now tell me stuff. So, are you the one Adherenir must thank for getting rid of the annoying census and excise agent? Indeed, Adherenir is very glad to see you and very happy to tell a friend of my good friend Caius all about the Sixth House cult. And Adherenir knows nothing about Nerevarine, but Adherenir is happy to tell you that, too, if it makes Caius happy. Ask away, friend Drolan. Well, you say you know nothing about Nerevarine, so let's see what you know about Nerevarine. Yes, Adherenir knows nothing about this Nerevarine cult, because it is just silly superstition. So you tell Caius this. Nobody in her right mind pays any attention to this nonsense. Prophecies and ancient heroes reborn and other silliness. Fuzzy tales for little kiddies. Neat. Alright, just curious, what do you say about the census and excise agent now? Really? You have made the agent go away? This is a good trick. And Adherenir does not ask you how to do this trick because Adherenir does not want to know. But now Adherenir is feeling quite good and happy to talk to you about the Nerevarine cult or the Sixth House cult. Go ahead, ask your questions. Okay, what about the Sixth House cult? This Adherenir knows about because it is about smuggling. Some smart smugglers are suddenly too busy for their old clients because they have a new employer, the Sixth House, who pays very well. But what do they smuggle now? Adherenir doesn't know because they are very secret. And this is odd because these smugglers are always loud and bragging, and now they hush up like fat-bellied kitties full of sweetmeats. Okay. What about smuggling then? Smuggling is big business. The Empire says we can't trade skooma, moon sugar, ebony, Dwemer artifacts, exotic Dunmer weapons and armor, and slaves. So smugglers trade these things. Smugglers also smuggle grief, shine, and sujama to avoid imperial tax. And now the Sixth House hires smugglers, though what they smuggle, Adherenir cannot say. Alright, well that's pretty much everything I had to learn. Cool. So thank you, Adherenir, but you didn't give me notes though. Nope. You just said go tell Caius this. Alright, so that works. That leaves one more person in the temple quarter. Which means I gotta find my way back out of here. I do not like the, what are these called? The canal works and underworks and stuff. This is just St. Owen's storage, which I should not have entered. Oop. Without sneaking. Oh hey, gold. They certainly don't mind stealing their stuff. Although maybe I should, since St. Holmes isn't one of the primary locations. Oh, hey, books. Alright, the Book of Dawn and Dusk. I think I already have a copy, but that's fine. The Anticipations, I also think I have a copy. I'm just checking to see if they level me up. They do not. Or provide skill ups. Oh hey, a locked chest. Now I definitely want to know what's inside. That took way too long. For a 25, that should have been much faster. Just gold. Okay, fine. I'm gonna leave the rest of the stuff alone just because there's a lot in here and it's not really worth trying to... Oh, this is also locked. Okay. Yay, security increased to 63. I didn't do a lot of exploring in Vivec previously, so I'm not terribly surprised that I haven't been down here yet. Oh hey, more gold. I'll just take all. And another chest. I don't want to take all here because this is just a jar. Elusive restore luck. Sure, why not? I might sell it later. Yeah, there's way too much to try and loot it, so I probably ought to move on and get where I'm going, but I was intrigued by the storage, and I'm even further intrigued by locked doors, so... Right,
well, you are playing a Khajit, and you know, if you have a door closed, you don't want a cat to go in. That's exactly where they want to be.
Yep, this is true. This is a good way of looking at things. It is consistent with the character to want to be where I am not supposed to be. And that's consistent with choosing to be a thief, too. So, oh my. Hello.
Just casually in Vivec?
Yeah, apparently. You know what, just take all.
You know, maybe there's something about necromancy here in Vivec.
Yep. This is quite a bit more extensive than I was expecting, including combat-wise. I did not figure I was going to be fighting stuff crawling around. And there's a lot here. Now, it's possible that I feel like every now and then I just stop sneaking for some reason. I wonder if there's something wrong with the control key on my keyboard. Nope. Well, I got the spell off. Oh well. On the right side. Oh, I could have disposed of corpse, I suppose. Oops. So, some more lockpicking. Oh, unless I don't actually drop it on... There we go. Yay, gold. Because I need to get my gold back from bribing the guy to leave. The Argonian alone. Wonder if there's some pun there, and if lizards have something related to Argon, or if it's just incidental that Argon is similar in word to Argonian. I may have to look that up. Don't know that I'm going to remember. Is this a... This is a shrine of Saint Felms. Don't know who Saint Felms is. Ooh, this one's trapped. All the more interesting. Yay, trapped disarmed. And it's gold, cure paralyzation, and restore strength. Okay, I'll take those. And I need to switch back to... Now, in the local map, yeah, this was it. It was just... Okay. I wonder if there's some quest that sends you down here at some later time to do something that I may have just messed things up because I came here early. I don't know. I did have that happen with one quest. I went exploring, and to level my skills and stuff, I decided to enter a dungeon instead of just fighting things out in the world, and I fought a hunger in one of the dungeons. Well, one of the tombs, basically. And then later I was told, go kill hunger in this tomb, and I'd already done so. Wasn't a problem for completing the quest. They still countered the hunger as killed. But as far as recording actually having done the quest, it was just, yeah, I did that earlier. I didn't record it because when I'm traveling, I don't record because going cross-country just seems like it would be boring. All right, now I need to go to the temple, which means I've got to remember where it is. It's right below me. Okay. Yep, Hall of Wisdom and stuff. So I just have to turn left a little bit. and go across this bridge and find out who I'm supposed to be looking for again. I have got a lot of stuff. I need to empty my inventory. Not the directions, not the notes. Where'd it go? Did I drop it? I really hope I didn't drop it. No, here we go. Mission to Vivec. Last person is Mara Milo, is a temple priestess who works in the libraries at the Hall of Wisdom and Justice. Okay. Close. So I just have to find the person with the copper hair and copper eyes in the Hall of Wisdom and Justice. So this is Hall of Wisdom, right? Yes. Okay. Do you have copper hair? Delmin Hellas. That's not who I'm looking for, though. I'm looking for Mara Milo. Okay.
I'm sure there's someone else you can bother.
Yes, there is definitely somebody else I plan to bother. Wait, that sounds wrong. No, go back to local, please. So there's a whole lot of hallways and stuff.
And she's specifically in the library. But
Oh,
you're
did it
supposed
say
to
in
get
the
her
library?
trouble.
Okay.
Milo's quarters.
Well, I've broken into her quarters in the past, apparently. Because it was unlocked. Alright, so if it's in the library, then I have to find the library. Oh, Library of Vivec.
Leave me. What was that?
Mara Milo.
Oh, come on.
Yes,
leave me alone.
I'm Mara Milo. Caius sent you. Follow me into the back of the library. We can talk there. Your journal has been updated. Goodbye. Okay.
I think you should sneak into the back.
I don't know that this is a great place to... There's a guard standing right there. Anyway, whatever. All right, go ahead. I'm afraid I don't know anything about a 6th house cult, but I can tell you about the Nerevarine cult. This is interesting. So there's 2 different cults then that are talking about the same thing, and some people only know about one or the other. All right, the temple worships Nerevar as a saint and hero, but prophecies of its reincarnation are punished as wicked heresy. The Nerevarine cult claims the tribunal are false gods, hence the temple's persecution of the Nerevarine cult. A group called the Dissident Priests disputes temple doctrine on the Nerevarine prophecies. The prescribed book Progress of Truth describes their beliefs. Get a copy of Progress of Truth for Caius Casades. That will tell him things he needs to know about the Nerevarine cult. Alright, well that's progress. Well, first let's ask about the tribunal, because I haven't asked about them before, I don't think. Like loving ancestors, the tribunal guards and counsels us. Like stern parents, they punish our sins and errors. Like generous relatives, they share their bounty among the greatest and least, according to their needs. Alright, what about the temple? The Tribunal Temple is the native religion of civilized Morrowind. They worship 3 god kings, Almalexia, Sotha Sil, and Vivec, who are known together as the Tribunal. We usually just call it the Temple. And what about the Tribunal Temple? Okay, we already did that. Alright, well, what about Almalexia? Almalexia was the virtuous wife of Lord Nerevar, and later the consort of Lord Vivec. Oh, that's intriguing. Sotha Sil? Sotha Sil was the mightiest wizard and most wise counselor of the First Council, and then Vivec. At once brave and honorable and cunning and devious, Lord Vivec is a rare combination of the virtues of flamboyant adventurer and prudent statesman. Okay, so let's come back up here, because there was a lot to talk about up here. All right, persecution of the Nerevarine. It's an Ashlander cult. Primitive superstition, says the temple. Nerevarines say the tribunal are false gods. I've never understood why the temple wastes so much energy on them. The faithful cannot be shaken by such attacks, and the Ashlanders are just ignorant savages. But since the submission of the temple to the Empire and to the erosion of faith among the Dunmer, the militant wing of the temple is increasingly fierce in its attacks on the heretics and heathens. Okay. That was persecution. All right, what about the dissident priests? Because this is the first I have heard of them. The dissident priests dispute temple doctrine and are outlawed and persecuted by the temple. Ordinators arrest and imprison heretics, and the Empire cannot interfere. Progress of Truth lists their beliefs. In brief, they challenge the purity and divinity of the tribunal, suggesting their powers are sorcerous, not divine, and perhaps akin to the powers of Dagoth-Ur. They also condemn the arbitrary power of the Ordinators and accuse the temple hierarchy of self-interest and corruption. All right, well, what about the Ordinators? Ordinators. Grandmaster Burrell Sala is the chief Ordinator in Vardenfell. That was not helpful. What about Dagoth-Ur, since he's been mentioned before? Dagoth-Ur is the evil immortal enemy of the Tribunal Temple cult. The temple holds Dagoth-Ur and his hosts accountable for all the evils that beset the Dunmer and Morrowind. Dagoth-Ur dwells in fiery caverns beneath Red Mountain, served by his kin called ash vampires and by legions of deformed monsters. All right, then. And finally, what about Progress of Truth? Hopefully you tell me where it is. This book lists the disputes of the dissident priests with tribunal temple doctrines. The temple has outlawed the sale or possession of the book, so it will be hard to find. We have a copy here, but I fear I'm being watched by Ordinators here. A safer plan would be to search local booksellers. Some booksellers ignore temple bans on outlawed books for profits or principles. Okay. Well, I mean, I am a thief. I'd be sneaky. Did I already sneaky? I mean, maybe I already stole it, frankly. What was it? It was journal. Progress of Truth. I don't recognize the name. That's not saying a lot. Anyway, so am I supposed to pick it up? Or do I return to Caius? Because I'm not sure. Oh, says I must get a copy of Progress of Truth to give to the Spy Master. It certainly seems like the simplest thing would be to steal it from here. If I can do so stealthily. Which, I mean, that's kind of my whole deal anymore, so it's a matter of finding it. Now, it's also interesting that she says we have it here, but I would expect that there's that secret aspect of the library. Oh, no, but it's right there. Well, hold on. Close. Quick save, because I have not been saving it. Make sure I'm all sneaky again. Now take it. Okay, well. Off I go then. Yay, that was not difficult. I just have to get out a door. There we go. Back to the Hall of Wisdom. All right, so first things first, because he's probably going to take the book from me. Progress, no. Where'd it go? Book of Dawn and Dusk. Progress of Truth. Okay, so how long is this thing? Quite a bit long, but here we go. All right, Progress of Truth, compiled by the dissident priests. Excerpt concerning the points of temporal doctrine challenged by the dissident priests. 1. The divinity of the tribunal. Temple doctrine claims their apotheosis was miraculously achieved through questing, virtue, knowledge, testing, and battling with evil. Temple doctrine claims their divine powers and immortality are ultimately conferred as communal judgment by the Dunmer ancestors, including, among others, the good Daedra, the prophet Veloth, and Saint Nerevar. Dissident Priest asks whether Dagoth-Ur's powers and the tribunal powers might ultimately derive from the same source, Red Mountain. Sources in the Apocrypha suggest that the tribunal relied on profanely enchanted tools to achieve godhead, and that those unholy devices were the ones originally created by the ungodly Dwemer sorcerer Kagrenak, who created the false construct Numidium. 2. The purity of the tribunal. The dissident priests say that the temple has always maintained a public face, represented by the hieroglypha, the priestly writings, and a hidden face, represented by the apocrypha, the hidden writings. Priestly writings and hidden writings. Okay. The public account portrays the actions of the tribunal in a heroic light, while the hidden writings reveal secrets, untruths, inconsistencies, conflicting accounts, and varying interpretations which hint at darker and less heroic motives and actions of the tribunes. In particular, conflicting accounts of the battle at Red Mountain raise questions about the tribunal's conduct and about the source of their subsequent apotheosis. Also, there is good evidence that the tribunal have been concealing the true nature of the threat posed by Dagoth at Red Mountain, misleading the people about the tribunal's ability to protect Morrowind from Dagoth, and concealing a recent dramatic diminishing of the tribunal's magical powers. Well, that's interesting. All right, 3. Temple accounts of the Battle of Red Mountain. Ashlander tradition does not place the tribunal at Red Mountain, and holds that the Dwemer destroyed themselves, rather than that Nerevar destroyed them. Ashlander tradition further holds that Nerevar left Dagoth guarding the profane secrets of Red Mountain, while Nerevar went to confer with the Grand Council, i.e. the Tribunal, that Nerevar died at the conference, not of his wounds, according to the Ashlanders, but from treachery, and that subsequently the Tribunal confronted a defiant Dagoth within Red Mountain, then drove Dagoth beneath Red Mountain when he would not yield to their will. 4. Veneration of the Daedra, Saints, and Ancestors. While challenging the divinity of the tribunal, the dissidents do not challenge the sainthood or heroism of the tribunal. In fact, the dissident priests advocate restoring many of the elements of fundamental ancestor worship as practiced by the Ashlanders and by Saint Veloth. Exactly how this would work is debated inconclusively within the dissident priests. 5. Denial of the prophecies of the Incarnate and persecution of the Nerevarines. Though no consensus exists among the dissidents about whether the Nerevarine prophecies are genuine, all agree that the persecution of the Nerevarines is unjust and politically motivated. The dissident priests do not reject mysticism, revelation, or prophecy as part of the religious experience. The dissidents have not resolved the issue of true or false insights. They have studied the mysticism of the Ashlander ancestor cults, in particular the rites of the Ashlander seers and wise women, and the prophecies of the Incarnate. Many among the dissident priests have come to believe that the Nerevarine prophecies are genuine and have made a systematic study of the prophecies recorded in temple archives. 6. Authority of the Archcanon and the Ordinators. The dissident priests reject the authority of the Archcanon and the Ordinators. The temple hierarchy has been corrupted by self-interest and politics, and no longer acts in the best interests of the temple or its worshippers. The dissident priests believe the Archcanon and Ordinators speak for themselves, not for the tribunal. 7. The Inquisition and the use of terror and torture by the Ordinators. Within the temple hierarchy, it is an open secret that the Ordinators rely on abduction, terror, torture, and secret imprisonment to discourage heresy and dissent. The dissident priests feel the Ordinators are either out of control or tools used to maintain a corrupt priesthood in power. 8. Fundamentals of temporal doctrine, charity for the poor, education for the ignorant, protection for the weak. Though the dissident priests acknowledge that most rank-and-file priests honor the best traditions of the temple, they believe that many priests in higher ranks are interested more in love of authority and luxury than in the welfare of the poor, weak, and ignorant. All right then. So yeah, apparently there's some uncertainty regarding the validity of the history of how Vivec came to be. I need to find a way out. Vivec Temple. So that's where I want to go. So going up these stairs won't help me. Going down that hallway won't help me. Going out these stairs might, and then turning right. Okay. Yeah, so there's, no, that's the canon offices. So I'm actually too high then? Canon quarters.
If you're here,
Oh, you were the first person I saw, so I know that the path I came in is actually up this way. Boy, that's a maze of rooms. And now I'm... Okay. Gotta find a boat. I got to St. Olms by coming from the arena. So that's where the boat is. Okay, so I'm just gotta go run across St. Olms. Now, that's intriguing though if Dagothr is actually not initially evil, but was actually trying to support what Nerevar was doing, and then the tribunal actually banished him essentially for not acquiescing to whatever, you know, strategies they have. So you really do have two sides of a coin then. You've got the side that, not a coin, but two sides of the same events, call it that way. 4 1/4, please. You have the group that, and I'm just going to go use the Silt Strider, which should be right there. Yep. You have the group that sides with the current people in power, which is the tribunal, and say that no, this was, you know, Nerevar was a great hero and did all this stuff and was very helpful, but alas, you know, there's nothing overtly special about him beyond that. Then you've got the other side that says no, Nerevar was considerably more than that, and y'all messed up. And there was treachery involved. It
would be interesting to me if the ring that is missing, Nerevar's ring, if Dagothr actually has it, and if part of that conflict wasn't that the tribunal demanded it.
Oh, that
Dagothr said, no.
That would certainly make sense. I could see that being the case. Yeah, I don't know. We'll probably find out, maybe. Now, because you could have an entirely third group, right? The sleepers could be folks who... Okay, I am a sleeper, one among thousands. I bring you a message. Dagothr calls you, Drolan, and you cannot deny your lord. The sixth house has risen, and Dagoth is its glory. I don't remember the message last time being Dagothr calls you, so talk about Dagothr. He is the lord and father of the mountain. He sleeps, but when he wakes, we shall rise from our dreams. I think that's the same thing. Yep. And then the sixth house. The sixth house, sleeping... Yes, so this is also the same thing. Interesting. Okay, well. And this is now Rararin Radaris, so there's actually been multiple people. I wonder if it's random people. Actually, if I talk to you now... Yeah, you do say the same thing. Okay, I wonder if it's random people or if there are already specific members of the houses here that are assigned to be members of the cult. Because it's been different people that have talked to me each time. I don't know. But yes, it would be interesting if that was the case. But I was saying there was, it seems like, or is that the sixth house cult? The individual who just stopped me? I don't know.
Could be.
Probably. All right, Caius, I have report. All right, are you here to discuss your orders, Drolan? I am. I have your report, and I'll make copies of your notes from Hulea and the Progress of Truth. Give me time to read and digest all this. In the meantime, I'm promoting you to Journeyman. You're doing good work, and here are 200 drakes. Go out and treat yourself to a new pair of shoes, and go do some jobs for the guilds or other freelance work, just to keep your cover story current. Or get some training. Then, when you're fit and rested, come back, and I'll have new orders for you. Well, I kind of did everything already, so can you just give me new orders? Orders, please. There we go. I'm not ready for you yet. I told you, go out and brush up your skills, or do some freelance work to support your cover story, or go shopping, or do some sightseeing. Just leave me alone and let me think. All right, fair enough. So I can go empty my inventory and do some other stuff, and I will come back and talk to Caius. In the next video, we'll see if he's ready to give me new orders. For now, thanks all. Hello all, and thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please click the like button below. You can also subscribe using the channel image in the center of the video. If you are interested in more content in this video series, to the left is a link to the full playlist. Alternatively, when it is available, to the right will be a link to the next video in the series. Thanks all.